What he said was, Germans believe that black people have tails.
It's a political world, and you're in it. Meow, baby.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fast Cat Triple X. I want to talk about race and affirmative action. And by the way, this is just a little bit of catnip. Stick with me. Like my video, that would be awesome. I'd like to get some of the algorithm going on that score. That would be sweet. Anyway, regarding race and affirmative action. Now, affirmative action has been in place, was in place for a long time. That process continues to feed into this notion that if you have a particular melanin content, then you're magic. You get your foot in the door, so to speak, having nothing really to do with your merits, having nothing to do with your experience, your expertise in whatever topic is necessary for a particular job. So affirmative action did that, and I'll just give you some of my experiences with it. So let me start with my experience in the military. Now, I was in for just a few years, and I joined back in 1978. I joined the Army. My MOS was 63 Charlie, and what that means is basically I was just a mechanic. I actually became an expert in tearing down and putting back together the engines in armored personnel carriers, or 113s. And those happen to be the same engines that are used in the VIA transit system here in this city. So I joined. Now, once I got to my permanent duty station in Germany, it's required, I don't know if it still is, but it was required that you take a class in what's called race relations. Now, that sounds great, like they're going to improve the relationships between people of color and white people, and they're going to relate on a racial level and be able to become friends and improve the relationships. So race relations, right? It was absolute nonsense. So I went to the class, and it was on the upper floor of this old building in Bamberg, Germany, on base. And there were maybe 15 guys in that class, and it was headed by this E5, this sergeant, who, for lack of a better term, I think was blackish. Okay. Now, during the course of the class, he said something that was striking. He said something that was offensive. He said something that shocked me, and something that would completely destroy anyone's relationship or perception of Germans out in the civilian arena, in other words, outside of the base. So, what he said was, Germans believe that black people have tails. Right? And I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not lying. It was shocking. I just couldn't believe that someone would say that Germans believe that black people have tails. Now, it would be equally shocking if he were to say, you know, if you go to South America, if you go to Brazil and you talk to people down there, they're going to tell you that black people have tails. I mean, how could this moron say such a thing? Now, what does that do for anyone, black, white, Hispanic, Asian? What does that do to their perception of Germans? Now, it's even worse for black people in that class. What they must think of Germans, what it does is it paints a negative picture with just that statement alone destroys at the outset their belief of Germans, their perception of Germans. It was stunning. Now, being a German myself, I had to say something. Even though this guy was an E5, a sergeant, and at risk of being admonishing one way or another, because I wasn't sure how he was going to take it, I had to stop him and say, excuse me, I'm a German. I have a lot of family here in Germany. We do not believe black people have tails. No German believes that black people have tails. It's absolute bullshit. I didn't say bullshit. I probably said something like nonsense or whatever. I didn't want to, get on his bad side, so to speak. But I had to tell him. And he just stuck to it. He dug in. Yes, they do. Germans believe black people have tails. At least I was able to say something so the rest of the class could hear a different perspective. Someone who actually is German. This guy was not German, this E5, this sergeant, but I'm German, and I'm telling you that black people do not have tails. We don't believe black people have tails. It's absolute fucking bullshit. So, that is one thing. So, now, some of these guys are going to have a question in their mind. If I go out into the city somewhere, are these people going to believe that me, if I happen to be a black guy going out there, that this German I'm talking to believes that I have a tail? Wow, I mean, this is fucking shocking. Anyway, that was shocking to me. Now, I want to dovetail into something relative in terms of the German perception of American soldiers in Germany, because alcoholism was rampant back then. All the guys that I knew, 9 out of 10 of them, had drinking problems. And you could smell it every morning when we had to do PT runs. You could smell the beer that they were drinking the night before pouring through in their sweat. You could smell it. So here you are jogging, with these guys, and the smell of beer just permeated out of their pores. And sometimes a guy would have to drop out of line as we're jogging, go off onto the side, and throw up. And remember, a lot of our runs were done out in the civilian arena, out there on the streets. And we just keep jogging and try to get that guy to come back in line, which of course, he would ultimately. But what that did is it led to problems with the soldiers over there. So here you have this issue of being told that Germans believe that Black people have tails. Here we are on PT runs. And then the issue with the bars. Of course, a lot of guys would go to bars in Germany, go and get drunk, frequently get into fights with civilians over there. And at one point, I was there at a bar with my group of friends, and there were the other group of friends, and these guys happened to be NCOs. And the NCOs were talking shit to one of the little guys that was in our group. And he's a small little guy, and one of those kind of guys that kind of needed protection, you know, from people giving him shit because he's so small, so they're going to pick on him. But a fight just about erupted. I got into the middle of these two groups, and then I felt the cold steel of a knife on my neck, and I thought, holy shit, this is the end of it, you know. Obviously, all the rest of the crowds, the Germans watching what's going on. This guy with a knife was so damn drunk. I was able to knock his hand away and step away, and we had to get the hell out of there because the police were being called, so we're going to get the German police involved. We're going to get the American military police involved. We got the hell out of there. Never went back. Later on, maybe a month or two later, the mayor's daughter was raped by an American soldier, and what happened with that is all the bars were forbidden. We military soldiers, American soldiers, were no longer permitted to go into the German bars. So all they could do then is just go buy beer, go back to their rooms and drink. No more going to bars in that city because of that situation. We had to stand in line, everybody, the entire base, as she went around the entire base looking for the guy who did it. And of course she found the guy who did it. And anyway. All right, so I know I went off on a tangent, but I just had to give you my experience on that. So, race relations. So after I get out, I believe it was, what 1981, I think? Yeah, 1981. And affirmative action is firmly in place, all right? I decide I'm going to continue the work that I'm doing because, you know, the VIA trans system, the transit system, the buses had the exact same engines as the APCs, the 113s that I worked on. I'm an expert with it, so I would be a good employee to have because of my experience. I don't need any additional training. I know this front and back. So I go to the VIA office, and when I walk in, there's this nice little young Hispanic lady at a desk, and I approach her and I let her know, look, I was a 63 Charlie in the military. I know the VIA engines really well. I'm an expert. I can break them down and put them back together. And she tells me, well, I'm sorry, but we're only hiring minorities at this time. So I'm wondering, well, can I put it in an application in? She goes, well, not really. We're just taking applications from minorities right now. Oh, okay. So there, you know, nothing I can do about it. There's no point in arguing with her, yelling or whatever. That makes no sense. So I leave. What am I going to do? I have to accept it because mainstream media says affirmative action is a thing and it's a good thing, and day after day. You affirmative action. It's on the news so frequently that you're spoon-fed this, and you just accept it. You go along with it. You go along with the program, right? Because you believe that, well, there's this systemic racism that's involved, and it's real, and black people and Hispanics, everybody is and with that kind of special magical melanin is being shit on. It's a thing. It's a thing, and you have to be part of the system that breaks it down. You got to torque it in, man. You got to torque it in. All right, so you can't get in there, and you can't fight it, right? You can't fight this thing. So you go along with it. You go along with the program. All right, what are you gonna do? So I leave there. So then I get an idea that, okay, well, I'm going to try the post office. That'd be a good job. They have a lot of positions open, and they work a large area. All right, so I do that. Go to the post office, walk up to the counter, and there's this guy there. He's, maybe in his 50s, thin, kind of scrawny looking guy. Anyway, go up to the counter, and I tell him, look, I'm looking for a job. I'd like to submit an application. And with hardly even looking up from the counter, he's shuffling papers. Without even looking up at me, he says, are you a woman? I thought, I'm thinking, what the fuck kind of question is that? What the fuck? No. I mean, there's only one way to answer that fucking question, right? All right, so no, I'm not a woman. He says, well, are you black? Look at me. No, I'm not black. He says, are you Hispanic? No, I'm not Hispanic either. Well, then I can't help you. We're only taking applications from those people. Oh, I have to be one of those people. Okay, all right. And again, because I've been spoon-fed this idea, this thing, that affirmative action is a good thing to rectify all that has happened before, all of this, let's call it prehistory, all right? I accept it. I have to accept it. There's nothing I can do, but I can't change. I'm one guy, I can't change everything with what our fucking government has put in place, all right? At that point, I start to think, well, we're all part of this kaleidoscope of humanity. So why can't I get a chance? I mean, it's not. I didn't cause any of these so-called issues that we're talking about. All right, I didn't rein in on those things. I didn't pull those out of the dirt and shove them down anybody's throat. I wasn't causing any racism or any of those issues. But again, you go along with that program, but no longer. I just look. Affirmative action is bullshit. All right, to favor somebody because of their melanin content is bullshit. You know it, I know it. So, you know, I moved on to other things till I finally was able to find work. I got a job digging ditches with a pick and shovel. Did that for a long time. Anyway, moved on. Those are my stories. Now, if it were 2024 when I was looking for work, I guess I could have said, when the guy asked me, "Are you a woman?" I could have said yes. Yeah, I identify as a chick. I identify as a woman, and maybe I could have applied, you know, submitted an application, got the job as a trans, whatever the fuck, you know, 2024. Or maybe I could have said, yeah, I identify as a black guy. All right. Maybe that would have worked back then. Maybe if I was doing this in 2024, got out of the military, and identified as a Hispanic, I could have got a job at VIA and worked on the buses. I could have got a job. I identify as one of those. What are you going to do, fucking kick me out? I identify. That's the thing these days, right? You identify, you get the fucking job. Identify. What the fuck? Anyway, be good to hear from some of you folks. Comments or place your own videos about the issue. But look, the Democrats love it. Liberals love it. Leftists love it. You know, there are these pathetic fucking white people who apologize for being white. What the fuck is that about? You're going to apologize for being white? I mean, I know this guy, this Hispanic guy, and you know, he talks shit in a terrible way about Hispanics, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Why are you going to talk shit like that? I makes no sense. But these white apologists are fucking crazy. These guys, girls, ladies, whatever the fuck, you know, kissing the feet of black people, Hispanic people, whatever, you know, apologizing for being white. Oh my God, I'm so sorry about you. Come on, man. Come on. Get some fucking common sense. Fucking grow up. Jesus. Anyway, I don't want to go off on another fucking tangent. So, if you got a chance, like my video. I have posted a lot of other videos if you want to see some of that shit, you know. It's on YouTube. Some of that stuff, like this video is too scary for YouTube, so I'm not going to put it there. YouTube doesn't like some of my other videos on Islam. All right, some of these things are too scary for YouTube, so I'll post them here on X. So I could use your support since YouTube doesn't like it. They want to be mommy and daddy, and they think that I'm being a bad little boy or a bad little cat, you know. So I'll scratch and put it on Fast Cat on X. So post your video, send me some comments, just send them me personally if you want to. If you're too worried, too afraid to, you know, add your commentary regarding affirmative action, if you happen to agree with me but you can't for whatever reason, post it, because it might do you some harm socially, personally, whatever. That's cool. Don't be a pussy and do that. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So until next time, this is Fast Cat. I'm out. Meow, baby.